Hi everyone, I hope you're good guys and welcome for a new video. So today a new video a little bit special. I wanted to talk about 5 kind of tips I wish I knew before when I start making music. And as you know, like making music, it's a very long journey where you will always be learning new things even after 5, 10 or 15 years, and that's the beautiful things about. But there is few things that I wish I knew at the beginning of my journey. And the first thing is, like, there is no secret plugin or stuff who gonna make you instantly sound like a pro. That's something like it's a bit less true now, and like people are more conscious now about this stuff. But like when I started, there was a lot of video like, oh, you need this plugin to sound like a pro. That's the final step to make you sound like a pro, or you need this. And the only secret that pro are using is their fucking 10 years of experience or 20 years of experience. And don't believe that. One of the mistakes is like you will believe that your music is no good because you don't use the right tool, or because, for example, you don't have an expensive studio or you don't have the last compressor, and that's why you sound like crap. But if you still believe that, just think about this experiment. Like, take your favorite music producer and just imagine you will switch studio for one day. So you go in his studio to make music and he's going in your studio to make music. And at the end of the day, who is gonna make the best track? I think I don't need to answer, you already got the answer. The second tip is kind of what the purpose of this channel is, kind of limit yourself. I mean, mainly at the beginning, like most of the time when you're beginner, you will buy stuff that you don't need. Or for example, you will say, okay, I need this new synth or I need this new plugin because you think it's gonna improve your music. But most of the time, the thing that you can do with this new piece of gear you want, you can already do it with what you have. And that's why it's happening a lot of time. You will buy something, you will use it for a couple of months, and then it's just gonna left it alone and it's gonna take the dust on the shelves. So one thing I like to do is, for example, if I see a software and I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting, or hardware, I download the demo of this plugin, or if you watch the video of the hardware, and try to ask yourself, can I do that? Can I replicate what this plugin is doing with what I already have? And that's really good because it's gonna first probably make you save a bit of money, and second, it's gonna improve your skill because you're gonna say, okay, I like this reverb it's sounding, but can I get the same result with the reverb I already have? And you will be like, and you will like use more the reverb you already have, and you will master it more, and you will learn a bit more about the reverb you already have, and on the end you will just say, okay, actually I don't need this new reverb, and the result will be like you will save money and you will master better the plugs or the hardware you already got. And you will realize that most of the time you've been fooled by a good marketing strategy who wanted to make you believe that you need this last plugin, but actually you don't really need it because you already have similar stuff to make similar kind of things. Because usually the more stuff you got, the less you know how to use them. And because of that, we'll probably end up with, I don't know, like 10 pieces of hardware or software that you barely know at 30%, rather than you could have like just 3 or 4 that you will master at 70, 80%. So only purchase something if you really master the previous one that you buy. And if you think like, okay, actually I don't have anything that I can cover what this plugin or hardware can do, but honestly 95% of the time you already got all what you need. So third tip, I already talked a little bit about that in a previous video, is about sound selection, and that's one of the things that matter the most. And I'm not talking only about like having the good samples or where to buy or pick up the right sample. It's knowing which samples are going well together and being exigent with yourself when you create music. But basically, if you have a sound, like when you add a new sound and you feel like, oh, it doesn't fit really well with the track, don't keep it and move and trying to find a new one better. Just scrap the previous one and try to find a new one, and always move to the next sound when the previous one is fitting perfectly your track. Tip number 4, that's something very stupid you're gonna say, but like when I started, I always thought like the loop length should be like even number, like 8-bar loops, 16, like, because basically, especially if you come from a DJ background, you know, like everything is changing every 8-bar or 16-bar. And I was thinking like all of my instrument, my perc, my drums, everything has to be like in 8-bar or 4-bar or kind of stuff like that, and which is completely wrong because for example, like if you write acid line, like using 3-bar length loop is really nice for acid, and even for percussion is really nice. And I was so entitled to this very rigid structure, which is normal because basically when you start making music, you kind of follow the rule, and it's just after when you start to understand this rule that you try to explore new things, try to things different. All right, and last tip number 5, it will be like, don't always stay in the scale of your track when you're producing. Like when I started, I didn't know nothing about music theory and stuff like that, so I start to kind of learn how things was working, how scale was working. So I was always staying in the scale, never going like out of the scale because I thought it was wrong. So most of the time, I mean, it's great to stay on the scale because like this, it sounds great. But in techno, it's really good sometimes to just like get out a little bit of the scale. Like maybe you can sequence a melody in the scale, but then just grab a couple of notes and put them out of the scale, and it will sound very interesting, and it works really well. It's same when you play a chord. In techno, it's really nice if you go a little bit out of the scale because you will get this detuned kind of sound, weird sound, which is work really well. So that's a thing that I ignored for a long time. I was like just using, especially if you use push or if you use the scale device in live, you just stay in the scale and you kind of limit yourself. That's one thing I wish I knew before to be a bit more creative. All right, guys, I hope this tip helps you. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you soon. Bye bye.